back to another video. So this one today is really going to be about being prepared for your period. Girl, it's important. So the first thing that I just want to say is that periods happen to all of us. Now, there are some people who have medical reasons why they don't have a cycle. There are some people, mothers and grandmothers and older women who have gone through menopause, so they don't have a period. There are people that take certain types of birth control that prevent them from having a period. But girl, your period is just as natural as you breathing. It's essential to you being able to give life. So don't hate it. Enjoy it while you have it. So the number one tip that I have for you and your period, girl, is be prepared. If you don't know that, that's from my favorite movie. Comment down below if you knew where that came from. So you want to be prepared. You want to make sure that you have 2 menstrual bags. Okay, let's count them. 1, 2, perfect. Okay, so you can count. So you want to have 2 menstrual bags, and the reason that you want to have more than one is because if you're a volleyball player / athlete, you want to have one in your volleyball bag, athlete bags, soccer bag, I don't know, whatever you play. You want to have one in that bag, and you also want to have one in your backpack, okay? And I recommend you having it in your backpack because at a lot of schools, going to your locker is like something that doesn't really happen. So if that's how it is at your school, you definitely want to make sure that you have a bag of anything that you need in your bag with you at all times. You want to ensure that you have extra underwear. Always keep a pair of underwear everywhere you go. So if you drive, keep a pair of underwear in your car. If you are in school, keep a pair of underwear in your backpack or in your locker. Just keep a pair of extra underwear everywhere you go, especially if you're one of those people whose cycle just started and it's very, very, very irregular, or if you have an irregular cycle anyway, keep underwear with you. You may also want to keep either a jacket or an extra pair of leggings. Now, I would suggest leggings, black ones, that you keep in your locker or in your backpack or just somewhere where you can get to them, simply because if you bleed through your pants, girl, that is the most embarrassing thing on the face of the planet. And I'm just going to tell you, everyone that I know that's ever bled through their pants, like, it was typically on white pants. I'm going to tell you personally, I no longer wear white pants just because you're not going to catch me. Period is not going to catch me outside. How about that? And then the next tip that I want to let you guys know is to just keep your bag stocked. Keep your bag stocked and restocked. If you use it, put it back. If you use it, put it back. If you use it, put it back. This way, if you're using it and you put it back, then you're never in a place or position where you don't have what you need, okay? And to keep in your menstrual bag, I would definitely recommend to either have 3 pads or 3 panty liners, or if you wear tampons, you can have 3 tampons, but I just suggest at least 3. Now, you can have more. I think I keep about 10 in my backpack, but you can have more, whatever makes you happy, but 3 at the very least, depending on how heavy your flow is. So I would also say to make sure that you keep your wipes and your spray in this menstrual bag with you as well. I'm gonna tell you why. Because if you've ever been on your cycle and when you go to the bathroom, sometimes it's not the best smell in the world, but you don't want somebody to come behind you.
You're like, oh, she smells like fish. She stinks, blah, 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 blah.
So you want to keep those wipes with you so you can wipe yourself off even after you have, wiped when you wipe on the toilet. And then you want to have those wipes to just ensure that freshness, and then wipe again with toilet paper. And then once you're finished, go ahead and spray yourself down. And that way you're going to help to eliminate some of those odors. Also making sure that you're changing your pads and tampons frequently so that you're not harboring odors inside of your body and causing bacteria. The other thing that I want to say is that if you wear pads or panty liners, you also want to keep disposable fragranted bags.
Coach Gabby, what?
Girl, disposable fragranted bags. I'm going to tell you, my mom put me onto this when I was a little kid. If you go to the Dollar Tree, not Dollar General, not Dollar Hobby, Dollar Lobby, I don't know. Not any of those places. If you go to Dollar Tree in the baby section, they have disposable plastic fragranted diaper bags. Girl, go get you some. Like when you put them into those little tins, those silver trash can things that they have in the bathroom, you won't even know that you were there. Squeeze the air out of it first, put your pad or tampon inside of there, twist it, wrap it up, tie it over, throw it in. You're done. Cleaned up. Nobody can say that you left a smell in the bathroom. The next thing that I would definitely suggest is to keep menstrual medication on you. Now, I know a lot of schools say you can't have medicine, blah, 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 blah. But I'm not saying go and take pills everywhere in front of everyone. Keep some menstrual medication, and I would say don't keep a whole bottle of it. Just keep 2 or 3 inside of an old medication bottle. Just keep 2 or 3 in there so that you're always prepared with whatever type of medicine it is that you use. If you don't use Midol, don't buy Midol. If you don't use Aleve, don't buy Aleve. Use what you use. Put that in your bag so that you have access to it. The worst thing in the world is to be sitting in class or in practice and your stomach is cramping. Let me tell you, as a middle school coach, saying that I didn't come to practice because my period was on is not an excuse. Girl, you'll sit on the bench. You'll live there. Because I believe that as women, we already have this one thing that counts against us in the eyes of men. And so in order to even be considered equal, we can't take breaks because of something that occurs naturally for us because they don't have that issue. So I believe that you've got to take your medicine and keep it pushing. And I got that from my mother. She would never let me sit out. Now, if you have extenuating circumstances where you can't even stand up because your period cramps are so bad, that's different. And that's something you need to let your coach know at the beginning of the season. But if you come into your period during the volleyball season, I've had 100 girls to do that. If that happens, then that's a different story. But as soon as you know, you need to let your coach know so that your coach can give you somewhat sympathy. And if you have a male coach, I know that's pretty awkward, but I'm not a guy, so whatever. So the last thing that I want to do is just some tips on things to keep in your menstrual bag. I know we've talked about everything, but I just want to give you some tips on things that you can keep. Pads or tampons, your choice, doesn't matter. I recommend a more natural brand of pads or tampons. One of the things about pads and tampons is if you look on the back of like an Always brand or a Kotex brand, I can't think of any of the other major brands because I don't use them, but there are no ingredients or what materials are used written on the bag. Ever wonder why? A lot of the materials that they use are chlorine, bleached chlorine materials. They use reusable plastic. It's not cotton that you're putting next to your body. And so sometimes that can cause infection and bacteria and all these other different things that you just don't want those problems. So I recommend the brand that I wear, which is called the L Company. Now, they used to be a brand that you could only have a subscription to, but now they are sold in Target and they sell them in pretty big quantities. I think I have like a pack of like 42 or something like that. Sorry, I'm looking down, my Surface went off. This is what has all of my notes on it. My Surface is here. I recommend the L Company. I love them. Before, when I wore Kotex brand, I wore Always brand for probably 25 or 26 years before I switched over. And I have a very heavy flow. Sorry, I know that's personal, but whatever. We're all girls here. I have a very heavy flow, and so I would use these really big pads or... Yeah, I don't wear tampons because I feel like with tampons, you're trapping all the things that are supposed to be coming out. God made it come out for a reason. Like, I'm not going to shove it back up in there. But I was using really big pads and I was getting all of these different issues. I had so many issues when my cycle would come on. As soon as my cycle was gone, the issues were gone. And I finally realized that I needed a more natural pad because whatever was in the pads that I was using, my body didn't agree. So with the L Company, I'm going to read this. They're a natural alternative. They're thinner. Even their thickest one is very thin, and I'm comfortable all day. And I told you I bleed a lot, so I'm comfortable all day. But I changed them out pretty frequently. So they have wings, which was not a favorite thing of mine. But I've grown to just be accustomed to it. They're made with organic cotton, not plastic. That looks like cotton. There's no chlorine bleaching, no pesticides, and everything that is inside of this brand you can pronounce. Now, if you wanted to know what was inside of like an Always or a Kotex brand, you can call or you can go on the website. I believe that the stuff is listed on the website. So what I would recommend to put in your bag, girl, that was a whole tangent. Let's come on back to what we were supposed to be doing. I would recommend that you put panty liners in your bag. You can get these from Dollar Tree. Like, you can get 20 panty liners from Dollar Tree. The L Company also makes them, but they're not as cheap as the Dollar Tree. So if you're not wearing panty liners every day, I would suggest getting the ones from the Dollar Tree just because they're cheaper. Get you a spray, a Summer's Eve spray. I know FDS makes a spray. Either one, doesn't matter. Get the one you like the smell of. Make sure you keep it 8 to 10 inches away from your vagina when you spray it. Do not spray it in your vagina. That's a whole nother video. You're gonna hurt. It's gonna burn. Okay, get you some disposable bags from Dollar Tree. Disposable bags can come from Dollar Tree. It's perfect. They work like a dream, and they eliminate a lot of the odors. Extra panties and leggings in your menstrual bag, and then maybe $1 or $2 in change. I don't know. I haven't been in a high school bathroom in quite some time. I don't know if they still have like the machines, high school or middle school, if they have the machines where you could put like a quarter or 2 quarters or 50 cents or something like that in to get out a pad or a tampon, but that's only if you're in a crunch. So I would say keep a couple of dollars in change in your bag, so if you're in a crunch, you can do what you need to do. And the final thing is, girl, get you some chocolate for those cravings, because when my period is on, I want Hershey's almond. They're the best. Aside from that, other things that I want to say is don't be embarrassed about your cycle. And if you ever have a friend who has a period in school or something like that, be someone that she can trust. Even if it's someone who's not your friend, be someone that they can trust to go to help them out in any way that you can, because you would want somebody to do that for you. I was gonna show you guys how to put on a pad with wings, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty simple. I don't have one with me, or do I? I lied. So here is the L Company's packaging. It's very simple. I will put in over here what they look like in the bag, but this is how they come, just like normal pads. Cotton, very thin, and this is like the thickest one for my flow. So you would take it off like this, and it's thick, so this would be your underwear. My hand is your underwear, and then you take this little piece of paper. It's kind of hard to see with my ring light on. So there's a piece of paper here that you're gonna pull off. See? There's a piece of paper, and then you're gonna take the sticky part and you're gonna put it on both sides of your underwear, right? So now there's your pad. Perfect. Now for me, I typically will put 2 on at a time. I'll put 1 in the front and 1 in the back because I just like to feel secure. I always feel like I'm gonna bleed out the back of my bottom. It's a stretch, but that's what I do. So I would put 1 right here, layer them, and then put the other one on. But that's just what I do. But yeah, so that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.